Hi, everybody. So, originally today I had planned on talking about another movie, but since I had to redo the video for the Mousetrap, I'm doing this one now. Um, I recently got to see Deepwater Horizon. The release date was in 2016, directed by Peter Burg. He also directed Hancock and Battleship. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, I do want to give a pre-warning. It is based off a true story. I'll go into that in just a second. Um, it is a very emotional movie. Um, Normally, I don't watch these kind of movies. They are not normally the genre that I watch, but I'm glad I did. So we do have some seasoned actors and actresses in this movie. Kurt Russell, we all know who Kurt Russell is. Kate Hudson, John Malovich, and Gina Rodriguez. We also have Mark Wahlberg. So the description of the movie that I found online was on April 2nd, 2010. I'm not sure if that date is correct. It was either April 2nd, April 20th, or April 10th. Now, there were different variations of the date, and I unfortunately could not nail down the exact date, but the description was April 20th, 2010. The Deepwater Horizon drilling rig explodes in the Gulf of Mexico, igniting a massive fireball that kills several crew members. Mike Williams, played by Mark Wahlberg, and his colleagues find themselves fight for survival as the heat and the flames become stifling and overwhelming. Banding together, the coworkers must use their wits to make it out alive amid all the chaos. I do want to say that my heart was in my throat the whole time during this movie. We truly do not know what these men and women go through for the oil that we use daily. And this movie, I know it was, just a movie, but it was based off of what happened. It was very emotional from start to finish. Um, the script and the acting were amazing. The special effects were definitely on point. The action scenes were pretty dramatic. I highly recommend this movie. If y'all haven't seen it, I have to give it 5 stars. I want to go on a side note and say that my heart goes out to these families who have lost loved ones on any drilling rig. Now, at the end of the movie, it shows you the real people, the people that actually went through this, and then the people that they lost. It shows their names, some pictures of the actual people. This oil spill was the biggest oil spill in US history. Now, I don't know if any of you remember or if any of you even knew about it. It was all over the place. It was all over the news. This was a BP drilling rig owned by the gas company BP. Now, I had to do so much research on this because from what I understood, they were throwing these guys under the bus. Two of the guys were the big wigs that were actually on the drill that survived, were charged with manslaughter, but later the charges were dropped. From what I understand, some of the people were blamed that were working the rig. They were just doing their jobs. They were doing what they were told by the bigwigs. And these guys, from what I understand in the story, didn't want to listen to these experienced people that have experience with drilling. They just wanted the money. So we enter into corporate greed, which has vastly overtaken our lives. Corporate greed. So several men lost their lives because BP Industries wanted to be greedy. It's just, I really want to look further into this story. I remember in 2010, I remember it happening. I remember everyone talking about it. But my kids were really little. So I was, raising my kids. I was not paying attention to a lot of things that were going on in the world at that time. So once I get some more research in on this movie, I definitely will be doing a part 2. And it's messed up our ecosystem. And it's not the only thing that's messed up our ecosystem. Like fishermen, like we used to live on the Gulf Coast. It's a fishing community. Most people that live on the coast, that's a fishing community. These communities were built on the backs of our fishermen. They couldn't do their job because of this oil spill. And then BP wanted to take forever and drag their feet in court for all of these lawsuits. I remember my mom's boyfriend at the time going through this lawsuit because he was a fisherman. He was a crabber. And he couldn't work. And the settlement, they had to split between dozens of people, didn't help anybody. It didn't help them pay their bills. It didn't help them take care of their families. It didn't help make up for the fact that they lost out on thousands of dollars a month while they were getting this oil spill cleaned up. So not only did the people on the rig lose their lives and those families lost their husbands and brothers and fathers, it killed the ecosystem. It killed the fishing industry on the Gulf Coast. And not just in Florida, for Texas, Louisiana, Mexico. According to Google, the fire burned for 87 days, I think it said. Between 80 and 87 days. So for 87 days, the oil was spilling into our ocean. For corporate greed. Anyways, I can do a whole video on corporate greed, but I'm not. If you guys haven't seen this movie, I definitely highly recommend it. Go watch it. It's amazing. If you've already seen it, let me know what you think in the comments. Y'all have a great night.